obviously, when you play in a game, any game, you have 6 turnovers, 10 penalties. You know, you're going to struggle. And we were fortunate to even be that close, honestly. I mean, to be ahead at halftime, I thought defensively we did a real good job, especially in the first half. But the turnovers, look, bad job by us as coaches, players. It was ugly to watch, and you're going to end up losing games. It's that simple. So 10 penalties the same way. Any questions?
Sean, on that first, second turnover, I guess.
There was enough of them. Help me out. Was it a pass or a fumble?
It was the one, the interception Taysom threw.
Yeah, so we're not on the same page with the receiver and the quarterback. All right? One's running a shallow cross. One's expecting to sit it down. Bad by both of them. We'll look at it on tape. But
It was a cross-up.
say it again.
It was a cross-up.
No, if you get certain looks, you sit it down. Certain looks, you stay on the move. And obviously, the two of them weren't on the same page.
What about Jameis' interception?
Yeah, look, we'll look at the tape tomorrow. I don't want to go through every turnover. You know, we left it a little bit late outside, I think. Thought we had them on the route, and they made a good play.
Don't worry, I wasn't going to go through all.
I wasn't going to let you.
They're going to be cut out pretty soon.
What else?
How would you compare Hill versus Winston?
Now, I'm not making any comparisons with the quarterbacks right now. It doesn't matter who, really, with 6 turnovers, right?
Were there anything tonight that you did?
Look, I said to these guys, there's some things we're going to like on film. Like, I thought there's some things, I thought we played with some energy. I thought there's a handful of things we're going to like, but it's just going to be overshadowed, though, with those early mistakes. And, you know, despite how you play in the kicking game or defensively or even in snaps offensively, if that's what happens, it kind of just overshadows all of it, you know.
Sean, with the penalties, did you see mostly, I guess, concentration lapses there?
Well, look, we'll go through each one of them. 4 false starts or 4 offsides, motion, hard count, 4 times. So we'll see more of that defensively. Just overall, it was disappointing, though. You know, there were some parts of it, you know, where we're in and out with the substitutions and all of that. Like I said, I liked our energy. And look, it wasn't just rookies. You know, it wasn't just rookies. There's some veteran players.
Did you like how Taysom operated that opening drive and got the ball out pretty quickly?
Yeah, we'll see the film.
Was the plan to roll Ian through the entire second half, or did that?
Third phase. Yeah, third phase. And then that's what he did. So we got our numbers about right with the first 2 phases. And then, you know, sometimes it could be the whole second half. We were close to our number count, and so that's the way we did. So it's more reps than it is halftime or quarters.
Yeah, I didn't know if you planned to get Trevor any game action today.
No. The plan was to play those 3.
Was Zack Baun one of those guys you thought brought good energy to the defense?
Look, there were a number of guys. We'll watch the tape. We're gonna like a lot of things we saw, but we'll see when we look at it.
So a lot of when you out on the edge today.
Yeah, we moved them around a little bit just because of our depth at end in this game. We had a handful of guys down. Some guys were down intentionally. Other guys were down that we should have back next week. That was part of the plan.
Would you like on the 2-minute drill touchdown, Jameis?
Yeah, that was good. That was good. I didn't like how we handled the defensive end of half, you know, where they were able to get a completion, another one down themselves and kick a field goal to score. You know, I didn't like that sequence, but it'll be something we can learn from.
Is any amount of snap count, like conditioning work, since he's going to be out for a while? Or?
Yeah, we're going to play him, though. You know, we're not just going to sit him right now and then he's going to play like, I think we've had this before, a player who's going to begin a suspension when the season starts. You know, those guys are still going to be in football shape, and particularly when there's some other guys that are out.
Sean, was it important to have Michael Thomas here tonight?
Well, look, he's part of the team, and look, it was great seeing him. He's doing well. He's ahead of schedule. But outside of that, he's excited to be around these guys, and we're excited to have him around these guys. It's just right down the road. So, but it wasn't this big kumbaya moment or anything like that.
But is it the first time he's been around the team in a while?
Intentionally, he was with us at the start, and then he went to Philly as part of the rehab plan.
So, but you guys did have a talk, and I guess you didn't.
All of that,
say kumbaya
listen,
or
all of that is between he and I. One more question.
I guess just safe to say the outcome of that is all.
Like I said, listen, all of it's between he and I. It was good seeing him. Yes, it was all good. All right, thank you.
Hello, New Orleans Saints fans. I am Todd Graffinini, digital media contributor to NewOrleansSaints.com. It is the New Orleans Saints postgame show right here on NewOrleansSaints.com. Thank you so much for joining us. We've waited a long time for New Orleans Saints football to come back, and we've got a preseason game under our belt. You know the final score if you're watching this right now. 17-14, the Baltimore Ravens win the first preseason game. The Ravens' winning streak now in the preseason reaches 18 in a row, if you can believe it. The Saints had every opportunity to win this game, but as you just heard, head coach Sean Payton, 6 turnovers pretty much overshadows every good thing that the Saints did. And look, the Saints played solid football at different points in this ball game, but just not able to overcome 3 interceptions, 3 fumbles. And despite the good things we saw, especially on the defensive end. So that is going to dominate the talk from this week, no question about it. Sean Payton just mentioned, I mean, you know, it's going to be a long flight home because you would imagine the coaches are going to be watching this film on the way back to New Orleans tonight. And then they're going to get right back out on the practice field tomorrow. As a matter of fact, the team is scheduled for a workout tomorrow night at the indoor facility at the Oshner Sports Performance Center. But, you know, you looked at all 3 quarterbacks, very similar situations. Taysom Hill, Jameis Winston, Ian Book, again, all threw interceptions in this game. Jameis Winston engineered a couple of touchdown drives, one of them really dominated by Tony Jones Jr., who ran for 63 yards in that drive. So let's go back to Baltimore. And John DeShazer, my partner, who is on site, and I'm sure JD has a lot of insight on what happened this evening. Here you go, JD. It's all you.
Graf, you pretty much heard him. I mean, you know, I don't know how to say it any different than that. Preseason, regular season, postseason, it doesn't matter. If you turn it over 6 times and if you commit 10 penalties and if you're as inattentive to detail as the Saints were in this preseason game, then you're probably going to end up on the losing end of it. You know, the interceptions were just, you know, as he mentioned, you know, the first one, Taysom Hill and Ty Montgomery, obviously not on the same page. Jameis Winston, the interception, probably a little bit underthrown. And the same thing with Ian Book. He might have been hit on the play, but still, you know, those turnovers take you out of positions to make plays on the game. And then the fumble, you know, then lose 3 fumbles compounds the issue. And then when you're talking about the pre-snap penalties, just, again, sloppy, really not attentive to detail. And those are the things they'll be going over this entire week. We know for a fact because, I mean, you know, who could be happy with this? Not a coach, not a player. No one can be, you know, really pleased with the result of this game. He did mention, obviously, some good plays. And there were some good plays. I mean, I thought Taysom Hill started out really well. He and Marquez Callaway. I thought Jameis Winston really came on strong before he threw his interception. And he led that touchdown drive, and I thought he performed pretty well in that. Tony Jones Jr. had a really outstanding night before he fumbled. But for every good, there was a negative to take away from it. The defense played extremely well in the first half. And as he mentioned, you know, pretty much a miracle that they were leading at halftime, pretty much a miracle that they were really in this game when you turn it over that often and you have that many penalties. But it was good to see the fight on this team. Good to see them scrap through and really kind of hang in there. Had a chance to even win it at the end, and unfortunately another turnover ends it. But those are things that you're glad they happened in the preseason because, you know, you have time to work on it, clean it up. But you have a little bit less time than usual because you only have the 3 preseason games. So you got to get moving. You got to hit the ground running if you're the Saints. This will not be a pretty film session. I can guarantee you that, because there are a lot of mistakes that have to be cleaned up. The pre-snap penalties defensively are issues that will have to be addressed. The turnovers are things you feel like you can clean up, because we're talking about ball security with running backs. So you feel like you can get those guys to tighten that up. And you hope some of this is just first preseason game mistakes that, you know, you get out of the way this time and you don't repeat this performance, because it'll be hard to turn it over 6 times in any game in the NFL, much less back-to-back preseason games. So I expect to see a big jump in execution in those areas in preseason game number 2. If not, that's going to be a real concern. But you won't see 6 turnovers again, I don't think. I don't think you'll see another 10 penalties, although when you're mixing and matching players, you know, who knows what's going to happen. But, you know, as he mentioned, you know, 4 hard counts to get them to jump off sides in the neutral zone. That's something that's got to be attended to, and that's something that can be corrected very easily, I believe. The fumbles and the interceptions are things that you hope can be corrected. If it's just a matter of getting on the same page between receiver and quarterback, you hope that you can get that cohesion, you can get in sync. And you're talking about a couple of quarterbacks who haven't played extensively with these players, so it's going to take a while to hopefully develop that chemistry, and hopefully they will do so quickly, because again, you're moving into the next phase, the next preseason game, and your opponent sees what you saw on that tape. They'll see how the Saints turned it over. They'll see how the Saints committed penalties. They'll see how the Saints were a little bit sloppy, but again, they'll also see some really nice plays. I thought, you know, especially in the run game with Tony Jones Jr., I thought he was outstanding for a good period of this game. You know, the fumble really mars it, but he was really good in this game, and I thought, you know, he did some good things. You hope that the offensive line, some of the good things that we saw from them in terms of protection for Jameis Winston and for Taysom Hill, you hope that those things carry over, because, you know, that offensive line is the strength of this team, and it probably will, because, you know, you figure your offensive tackles, your starters, Ryan Ramczyk and also Teron Armstead didn't play in this game. You also didn't have Cam Jordan play in this game, or Alvin Kamara. So, you know, you have some guys who, you know, didn't have to play, didn't need to play, and you saw some good things out of, you know, Kaden Elliss at linebacker. Saw some good things out of David Onyemata on the defensive line at end and at tackle. Saw some really good things out of Zack Baun at linebacker. We've been wondering if he can make that transition. Well, he looks like he's ready to make that transition fully now. I'm sure there's going to be some bumps along the way, but he looked good in this one. He looked all over the place, and he looks very, very ready to do so. So here's Zack Baun coming for us now, and we'll go to him.
To finally be able to go out there and show what you can do with that linebacker spot you've been working on.
Yeah, the will linebacker position is something completely new to me, and I had a lot of fun with it tonight. And part of this training camp, I just wanted to show the coaches that they could trust me putting me at will, or trust me putting me at Sam. So fly around and make plays and correct the film tomorrow.
Do you know about how many plays you played tonight?
No, I played the first half. Yeah.
What was your goal, I guess, for tonight coming into the game, and did you feel that you met that?
Yeah, like I said, I just wanted to make plays, fly around, show off my athleticism, and do the right thing.
What did you see from Kaden today?
Kaden's a monster. He plays Sam and he plays Mike, 2 difficult positions to know and learn, and he's done a great job. And he's just athletic and really smart.
Zack, you say you haven't done it much. How instinctual is it becoming for you now?
I'm definitely having fun with it. It's becoming more natural, and it gives you a lot of opportunities to make plays. When you're playing Sam or playing on the ball, you're kind of 50-50, and you're setting the edge and a lot. And this playing Will, you get to go here, make a play over there. So I'm having a lot of fun with it.
How much different does it feel now, just like as far as like the seeing and going this year compared to last year's game?
Oh, I feel way more confident this year. Even playing a whole new position, just having a grasp on the defense definitely helps a lot, and everything's not new. I know the other players, I know the coaches, I know the scheme, and it's just becoming a lot more natural.
And like your vision and everything from there is just, that's second nature. Now, I know last year that was something you were kind of working on, like getting more of that peripheral view looking back.
Yeah, you got to have your eyes all over the place, but have your eyes on the right key and you make the play.
You mentioned fly around a couple of times. Like, how important is that for you to be able to play like that? You know, be able to play fast, aggressive, physical.
Yeah, if you especially in these preseason games, of course you want to do the right thing, but it's also about just showing your effort and tenacity for being around the football, and that's nothing I can't do.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a minute since you've had just like the opportunity to go out and play a tackle.
Yeah.
Football, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's kind of tired after that. How does that work?
I'm probably going to be pretty sore tomorrow, even though I'm only playing a half, but it feels good to just get reps and get those plays under my belt, and it's experience for the long run.
No questions from you.
Get out of here, Kaden.
Thank you. Thank you. Linebacker Kaden Elliss.
Kaden, what's this linebacker room been like this year, like this training camp? It seems like you have Mario Baun, obviously, you got like a lot of young guys trying to kind of establish themselves there. How do you think that's all going to work together?
Well, it's been a really fun room, super high energy. Coach Hodges brings it every day, and then getting to have guys like, I mean, we've had Demario all camp, and then they brought Quan back. Thank the Lord, because as he always says, be legendary, and his energy is also through the roof. And just getting to be with them and learn from them is amazing. And like you said, we got a lot of young guys trying to establish ourselves on this team and in this league. And I think, as you guys saw today, just a lot of linebackers running around making plays. And it didn't matter who was in, someone was getting that tackle, forcing that ball out, getting things done. So it's a really fun and passionate group. It's really cool.
I'm glad you brought up Hodges, because like every time I see one of you guys make a play in practice, that this is mine. What sort of impact does that actually have on you guys?
It's so fun. And again, we're a young group. Almost everybody's on their first contract. I think everybody is, besides Demario and Quan. So it's like it's fun. Like, we want that, we want that energy. He's jumping on us, running at us every time we make a play. And if we don't make a good play, he's running at us too and telling us and fixing us up. And I mean, his passion, his energy is really next level. I'm so happy I get to play for him. And it's a blessing. It's an honor.
It's been a while since you've played consecutive snaps in a game preseason. But how did you feel out there, knowing that you were going to be in for a considerable amount of time?
Had some of the nerves come back. Getting back out there and getting to play full force like that again. Man, it's so fun. I'm just thankful to God for the opportunity to get back out there. It's so cool. It's so special. Such a blessing and honor to be out here in that field with that talent and that level of play, and just to get to go out and do it again, it's awesome, and I'm so happy.
What did you see on that 4th and 1 play?
We don't do too much film study for a preseason game, but in our day and a half of studying, they did that kind of wedge formation, tight with the tight ends, got up close. They just ran like a wedge play, basically like, we're going to overpower you and get a couple yards. But on it, they didn't block the edge players. So they gave me an edge rush. I saw them come out in that formation, and I knew that's the only play we saw them run in the first 2 preseason games in 18 and 19. So I knew I was going to be able to come off the edge hot. The D-line interior did a great job of stonewalling it, so that he couldn't get that initial push. And then when he was looking for somewhere else to go, I was able to grab him and pull him back. So it was a fun play.
I want to talk about you, so you talk about Baun.
Huh?
Hey, Baun answered a question about you, so you want to do the...
Let's do it.
Yeah. What did you think of seeing him out there? You talk about flying around, he's literally out there.
Flying around. Y'all saw him. That's so cool, man. He's out there doing his thing. It's so fun getting to play with him. His passion and fire and energy is next level too. And he tried telling me he got tired. I was like, when? Because you were flying that whole game. He's out there doing his thing, hitting quarterbacks, batting down balls, making man, that's cool watching him play, and it's cool getting to play next to him.
Thank you, Kaden.
Thanks, guys.
Quarterback Taysom Hill.
Hey, guys.
This, obviously, like, turnover is not where you want it to be. But,
Yeah.
Six in a game, it doesn't matter who's out there. What was kind of the thought after the game? You guys are talking about that.
Yeah. I mean, I think at first glance, it's hard to not talk about anything other than 6 turnovers. But I think preseason games, you're trying to get film out there. You know, I think that there are a lot of really good things that we can all learn from. And so without seeing the film and knowing what was going on, and it's hard to really say. But I think that there were some really good things, you know, overall. Obviously, the glaring mistakes were the turnovers that we just can't have.
And on the one with Ty specifically, you guys just kind of crossed wires a little bit on that.
Yeah, there's a little confusion there. I was expecting him to stay on the move in that look, and he thought he should settle. And, you know, there's a little pressure and had to get the ball out. And I think those are the things that, you know, it's nice to see in a preseason game, and so we can make sure that between our room and that room that we're all on the same page, and, you know, we'll continue to work through those things.
When you're in a competition, I mean, and there is a mistake made, like, does it feel different? Do you feel, like, how do you process that given that, you know,
Yeah, I mean, look, the talk of the competition is, you know, right here. I think for me, it's going out there and playing my best football every night. So I don't like when things don't go well. I don't like when things don't go well if I'm in a competition or I'm not in a competition. At the end of the day, I'm trying to be as good as I possibly can for my teammates. So it's all the same.
Did you feel like you went with them early, 4-5 in the first drive?
Yeah, you know, I think again, I think that there were some really good things, and I think we were moving the ball. I know we had some costly mistakes that we, you know, overcame on a few drives, and so without seeing the tape, there were some really good things that we saw tonight. The first drive, I thought, you know, guys were where they needed to be, and I was seeing the field, and you know, that was it was good.
You guys are going out there without a significant chunk of who you guys are expecting to have out there at week 1. How do you personally kind of evaluate this? You know, is it just getting all you need to get all those guys in the right spot, or like?
Yeah, it's a good question, and I don't know that I have a great answer for you. I think at the end of the day, you know, we've been doing this long enough. You guys have seen how seasons go, and it's hard to last 17 games in an NFL season. So I think these things are really important for us to establish depth. And, you know, obviously we hope guys don't get injured and we have everyone that we need every game, but that's not the reality. So I think you assess each game like it is a game, and there's some things to clean up, which we've got time to do that, but there's certainly a sense of urgency.
Now you guys are changing up the process at the line of scrimmage or setting protections. How'd that go today, just in the first live action with that?
I thought everything was pretty smooth. You know, Eric McCoy did a great job, and he's a smart player, and I think everyone was on the same page. I don't think there was a lot of miscommunication up front, and I thought that was really smooth.
What are some of the ways that you and Jameis have been able to help each other on the sidelines of games like this? Do you two process, like, seeing the field in different ways, or are you similar?
Yeah, I mean, I think we might digest information differently, but the information is all the same. So whether we get that from each other or whether we get that from pictures, but I know that there were times, you know, tonight and historically last year that I would come to the sideline and Jameis would, you know, give an insight. You know, we have plays where we have routes that are alerts that we have that might not be part of a progression, but he'll peak those for me. And I did the same thing for him when he was playing tonight, and just throw little one-liners in there for him. And again, you can take that information and do with it what you want, but it's all about getting good information and then making the right decision.
I feel like your chemistry is with Callaway, especially on that, the one on the movie on the sideline.
Yeah, I like Callaway. He's a great player. I think he's stepped up and has made a lot of plays throughout all camp. So, in that particular play, that's the expectation for him. And you get him on a route like that, you expect him to win and put the ball out there, and he's going to make the play. And he's a good player, and that's what we've seen the last 2 weeks.
Obviously no film yet, but initial impressions from Ian during the second half.
Ian? I thought Ian handled the situation really well. I was proud of him. There was a lot of young guys that he was playing with, and when you step in the huddle, all eyes go to you. And I had conversations with guys that were in the huddle, and all the feedback was really positive. And I think that he handled the situation really well. Guys were not in the spots that he was expecting them, and it's part of playing in the preseason, and it's about managing the chaos, and I think he did that really well. Good. Thanks, guys.
Tony Jones and Jameis. Running back Tony Jones.
What's up, y'all? How are y'all doing?
How are you doing?
All right. Could have had a better night, but it's all right.
Yeah, how do you kind of balance your night? Like, you had that really nice drive, really nice touchdown, and then obviously the fumble down there. So how do you kind of look at that?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like I think you just gotta go back to the film and just learn from my mistakes and just not do that again, like in the next couple of weeks, so I can make this team. So.
Do you think not having, obviously practices aren't full contact, just getting ready for that again? It's been a while.
To be honest, I would say that's on me, just playing like the ball was loose and like he dove at the right spot. So I mean, that's on me. So that's nothing to do with contact. It's just me being focused.
How do you feel like you've grown as a runner just over the last year?
I think I can just see the runs more better now because like coming out of college, like my runs were like a little different than the schemes here. But now, like since I got a year like under my belt, like I can see it better. I see the holes before they even open. So it seems, it seems like it's working. So
the zone stuff is new. What's the difference between?
Like the out. Like the outside zone and stuff. So, I never did that in college. So, but now I've done it like for like a whole year. So now it's good.
Is that becoming like more patient? Is that one of the things that plays a part in that?
It's more patient and like having faith that you can like make those type of cuts and stuff like that. So now I'm more confident and I can make those cuts.
And it looked like you had a couple of those today for big games.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
How did it feel just to even be back playing in a game? Like you didn't get this opportunity last year to show what you could do.
No.
Did you have just one carry last year in the regular season?
I had 4 carries. I had like 4 for like 14 or something like that. Yeah. But to be honest, I haven't had a real game since college, and to be honest, it felt great. Like it was like a coming out party, and I felt great. Like we lost, but it was a good day for me. Besides the fumble, but I gotta fix that next week. So.
You'll have to. We can hear Peyton through the door. You'll have to brace yourselves a little bit when Peyton came in. Talk about the turnovers.
Yeah, but I mean, but coach has the right to do that because the loss relies on those turnovers. I mean, like if we don't have those, the score's not even the same.
I guess that goes to it's all part of the, having played a real game since college, right? Like, part of it too.
I mean, no. I mean, because like in practice, they punch at the ball. We go like thud. It's the same type of thing, but I was just not like focused on the ball at that point. I was trying to make moves, and I wasn't staying on my like keys. So that's what I mean.
Oh, I was just joking about getting coach.
Nah, I feel, yeah.
Tony, what did you see on the scoring play? Did you know as soon as you got it, you were going to score?
I had that exact same play in college, and like I didn't score, so I was like, I gotta score on this. I gotta score. But coach says like if you dive for the power line, you better not fumble. So I dove for it and I like pulled it back in, but I mean like it worked, so it was all right.
Anything else for Tony?
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Tony. Yeah, good night. You do.
Quarterback Jameis Winston.
Good evening.
So Taysom said earlier that playing in preseason games is like managing chaos. Did it feel like that to you at all?
I wouldn't describe it as that. I think it was fun just to be out there and compete against another team. We saw the great things that we did, and we know the things we got to do to fix for us to be the team that we're capable of being.
James, can you walk us through the touchdown pass? Just what you saw, and it looked like you looked off and found a little bit.
Great play call by Pete. Man, we ran it a little farther out than I was expecting, but just great timing. LJ got open on the back end. I think they had a pressure on us. They were in man-to-man coverage, and we got us a good one.
How'd that drive feel overall, just the rhythm you were in? And how
It felt good. I thought the tempo was great. Offensive line was blocking their tails off. Tony Jones was carrying the rock, so it felt good.
just on the interception, can you tell us what happened there?
Has to be a better ball, and it will be.
You just felt a little underthrown, or like, what would you do better?
I throw a better ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will.
Jameis, are you like familiar at this point with like a lot of the guys you were playing with? If you win the job, you're not playing with those guys. Are you familiar with?
Well, we need everybody,
yeah.
right? And I think that's what the preseason is all about: getting people exposed to opportunities, right? So we need everybody on this roster right now. When they make the cuts, they make the cuts, right? But as of right now, everybody that's New Orleans Saints, we need them to be ready to execute and play football.
I guess what I was asking is, when you're trying to get into a rhythm with guys that maybe you haven't been lined up with this whole training camp, is that challenging at points in these preseason games, or you just kind of have to just do what you have to do at that point?
We out there competing, playing football. Like, these guys have worked their whole life for that opportunity. I've worked my whole life. I was so happy to be back out there playing football, like with whoever, right? I feel like we did a good job executing for the most part, and we got room for improvement. That's a good thing.
Jameis, I noticed you and Michael Thomas tossing the football back and forth. How did it feel to have him around? I mean, has it been a while since you've seen him?
Yeah, I communicate with them every now and then. I think anytime you get a chance to throw Mike T some balls, you feed him that rock, man, and that's what he does. Like, it was good for the team to see him and him be around. Like, it was exciting. Everyone embraced him. we were happy to have him with us.
Yeah, it probably had to feel a little bit like old times, like doing that again. You haven't done that since.
Well, I've never done it, right? I've never done it.
I'm trying to think of the timeline in my head. I mean,
Well, San Fran was the last time that I tossed him the rock.
well, on the sidelines, I don't know.
Yeah, I think when you have a leader like him, you know, riding with us, and his presence is always felt. So it was great to see him, man. And man, I'm trying to toss him as many balls as I can, you know. But it was excellent. That was the highlight of my night.
Not the touchdown pass?
Well, you know, I've been there, done that, right?
Just thinking of future touchdown passes that you'll throw it
Absolutely, absolutely.
Do you try to like envision? Are you one of those people that really focuses on the moment, what's happening, or do you kind of look ahead and or try not to do that?
Yeah, one of the things I try to take pride in is just staying present. I think it's so important to have great awareness of your teammates, have great awareness of the situation and the feeling of what's going on. But I think, you know, the job requires as a quarterback to be able to snap and clear and move on to the next play. I think Coach Sean Payton does an excellent job of preaching that. We have to be able to forget the past and move forward. And that's kind of what we're going to do with this game. But as like when we're executing, I'm all in, man, because I cherish every opportunity that I get.
How do you feel the pass protections with the offensive line?
Oh, they did an outstanding job. You know, I think I got touched one time and I held the ball for probably 8 seconds. So they did an outstanding job. Baltimore threw a lot at us. They did a good job picking up pressures. And like I said, we got room for improvement, right? I have to get the ball out on time. As quarterbacks, we got to get the ball to the guys that actually make the plays, and it works all together.
What do you think of Tony Jones kind of taking over after that?
Oh, we see it all the time. He's a dynamic back. I think we have a great room of running backs. Coach Joe does an outstanding job. Headed with Alvin Kamara and Latavius. Like, those guys do a great job as far as the leadership role, but I'm happy that Tony had the game that he had.
It's like his first time really playing in a game in college.
Well, he played in Carolina game for one play. We mess with him about that all the time. Kind of kindly, because he had got hurt on his first play in Carolina. But man, he works his tail off, and he was waiting for this opportunity. He did a good job showing up and showing up.
Jameis, do you have any impression of Tyler Huntley on Baltimore side in the second half? Did you see him play at all?
Yeah, man. It's always exciting to see a young quarterback out there getting exposure, man. When I glanced at him, I was like, man, he looked like Lamar. Like, I think they do some things very similar, but it's tough to find another Lamar Jackson. Like, he's dynamic as it gets. But he did a great job making decisions. He did a great job using his legs when he had to. He did a great job executing, man. All those young bucks, especially young black quarterbacks, like, I'm always supporting those guys and trying to motivate those guys to be better. So it was good to see him. I saw him play some last year, actually, I think, when Lamar was out. So, man, he did a great job.
Speaking of young quarterbacks, Ian got to play the entire second half. So what did you see from him?
Just his communication, like his execution. I think he did a great job. I think that was his first feel for it, So he's going to continue to get better. I think we all, as a whole, have to continue to get better. But you can tell, like, he is built for the moment. You can tell that he does some really great things well.
Thank you, Jameis.
All right, thank you. All right, yeah, we'll go.
Then I throw it to highlights and that's it?
Okay.
All right, Todd Graffanini back here in New Orleans. You just heard from the players following the Baltimore Ravens 17-14 win over the New Orleans Saints to start the preseason. So the epitaph begins. The Saints will look at the film. I know it's going to be kind of a long film session. Again, you heard from Sean Payton, you heard from the players, and the 6 turnovers. Again, not to beat the dead horse, but that is going to dominate the conversation the next few days. But the good news is those mistakes are correctable. And again, it's tough because it overshadows the good things that we saw tonight. Again, Taysom Hill moved the ball, drove the team down the field in that first drive. Unfortunately, you had Latavius Murray with the fumble. And then Jameis Winston engineered 2 touchdown drives. Tony Jones Jr. had, an 11.2 yard per carry average tonight, scored the touchdown. But then, again, as you heard him talk about, he's going to be thinking about that fumble as well. Thought the defense played well, especially in the first half. Zack Baun was all over the field. Kaden Elliss was all over the field. I thought the edge rushers tonight, Passigno, Davenport specifically, Carl Granderson, they were in the Baltimore backfield the entire night. So again, a lot of good things to take away from it, but you got to clean up the mistakes, the turnovers, the pre-snap penalties, the neutral zone infractions. Good news is, folks, it is preseason, and the Saints will get back. It's going to be a late night because they're going to be flying back to New Orleans, probably land about 3 a.m., 2:30, 3 a.m. New Orleans time, and then they're right back in the practice field tomorrow afternoon before getting Monday off in preparation for the first home preseason game, which will be a week from Monday across the street at the Caesars Superdome against the Jacksonville Jaguars, first Monday night game of the new year. So, again, a lot to look forward to next week as camp will officially come to a close on Friday, and then they'll get into more of a regular season mode after that game on Monday against Jacksonville, just 5 days between that game and then the final preseason game, and then they'll get ready for the regular season. So, again, a lot to talk about after this one. Again, John DeShazer, who you heard a little bit earlier in Baltimore, will be on his way back tonight as well. And we will kind of recap things on the CST show after tomorrow's practice. Actually, on Monday's CST show, we'll recap the game and then get back into mode now for the Jacksonville game next Monday night. So that should put a wrap on things here this evening. And stick around for post-practice comments on NewOrleansSaints.com tomorrow night. Monday will be an off day, and then we'll be back into a normal practice schedule the rest of the week before that Jacksonville game. I want to thank John DeShazer back in Baltimore for his comments. Of course, head coach Sean Payton, all the players at the podium as well. Lane Murdoch in Baltimore, Brendan Hassett here as well. So big thanks to all who are watching tonight, wherever you may be around the country. Who Dat Nation, I'm sure, was locked in the game tonight, and hopefully better results next Monday against Jacksonville. I'm Todd Graffanini, digital media contributor to NewOrleansSaints.com, where we send it out. Here are highlights from tonight's 17-14 Baltimore win over your New Orleans Saints. We'll see you next week.